The imposing grey building on Richmond Rd is surrounded by barbed wire and broken beer bottles, and its windows have all been boarded up, except for those smashed out by vandals, homeless people, or perhaps ghost hunters. Despite being recognised for its historical and cultural significance, the building continues to decay because the church that owns it can't afford what it says would be an astronomical renovation bill. Malakai Koloamatangi from the United Church of Tonga says they'd like to see the building retained and redeveloped, but it needs the council to step in.
If the building can be kept in some way and redeveloped, then certainly if that's what the church wants.
But he says church members aren't prepared to sell the building outright to the council, although they'd be happy to work with them to redevelop it. And it's not going to be cheap.
I think the estimate is around that, maybe between 10 and 20 million. The church understands that the house could be redesigned and redeveloped, not only for the use of the church, but also for the use of others.
According to Heritage New Zealand, Carlile House was a purpose-built training centre and home for boys who were primed to get into apprenticeships and trades. The two-storey building was an orphanage for 2 decades from 1908 and has also been used as a remand home, an alternative school and a residence for recently arrived Tongan migrants. At the Heritage Advisory Panel meeting last night, members reiterated the council's offer to purchase the building, and the council's heritage manager, Noel Reardon, expressed his optimism, despite being told by the church it's not on the cards.
The church have been reluctant to sell and prefer options around redevelopment, and in fact I received an email 20 minutes ago confirming that they don't wish to sell, that they do wish to look at redevelopment options. But I am forever hopeful.
Advisory panel member Dave Vert didn't understand why the church wouldn't want to sell.
The thing that puzzles me is that the church appear to have effectively abandoned the building for about 20 years, and to someone not very familiar with the background to it, it's a bit puzzling why they don't want to sell it. It must be worth a lot of money, and they could presumably use that money to build a church rather than have a decaying building on their hands.
The advisory panel recommended that the council confirms its support for acquiring Carlile House to secure its outstanding heritage values. Neighbours of the Grey Lynn landmark told RNZ they want Carlile House to stay.
I love it. But I love old buildings and that, so I think it's got lots of atmosphere, and yeah, it's a bit of a waste just to be sitting there doing nothing.
You know, basically it's an inner city slum, but it has got a key bit of local history, and it's still in some, it's robust, good aesthetic presence on the street. It just needs, I'd say, 3 or 4 million spent on it to change it.
It would be a mistake to knock it down, because it would give such tacit approval that if a building is heritage listed, by neglecting it, you can get it to the stage where you neglect it so much, then it has to be knocked down.
It's our local ruin, yeah. I'm very fond of it.
The Heritage Advisory Panel's recommendations will be sent to the Council's Governance Committee for consideration. For Morning Report, Matthew Theunissen.